Yo, 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 and welcome back. You know where you're at. It's the Hulaham Hour. Nick, what's up, brother?
Nothing, man. I love how it's 70 one day and then fucking 30 the next.
Dude, it's been some crazy weather. I don't know what's been crazier, the weather or this free agency frenzy that's been going on. It's been wild, but we're going to get right into it. So let's kick it. Woo! Yeah, man. The league year officially started 2.5 hours ago. I think the first news that broke was Kyler Murray was officially released, which we all knew was going to happen, but they just said, screw it, we're not going to wait till June to do it. We're going to do it now. I think the funniest thing I've seen about that is that picture of him at the Minnesota airport. Oh, shoot. Anyways, dude, lot going on. I have no idea where to even start, but I think the biggest headline by far, excuse me, is Maxx Crosby. Nick, lead us off a little bit on what's going on with Mr. Crosby.
Well, at least he didn't have to move houses. It was only about 2 hours. But to me, it's kind of crazy, but it's really not seeing him sign Trey Hendrickson right away. I think they finally looked at it and was like, hey, if we offer you this, you're going to come here? And he's like, yeah. And they're like, yeah, he failed his physical. Time to go home.
I also think that potentially the doctor that did the physical might have been Joe Burrow or a relative of his. Because, okay, so hypothetically, let's just say that Maxx Crosby either goes to the Browns, the Bengals, or the Ravens, right? Or even the Steelers. Joe Burrow's going to pull an Andrew Luck. I mean, at what point does he, like, you have the trashiest offensive line, which the last I checked, Cincinnati's not done nothing about. They've signed, they signed a guard, okay? But they've signed an edge rusher, a corner, and a safety.
Well, and their defense was pretty abysmal, too.
Their defense was trash, and they just lost Trey Hendrickson. I mean, I know he was a free agent, but Nick, when you said that this morning, the more I thought about it, the more you're absolutely right. And what a bigger fuck you from Baltimore to Las Vegas than the fact that in that 12-hour span, Vegas spent an astronomical amount of money on free agents that now they have to either tell them to fuck off or literally cut Maxx Crosby and take a dead cap hit because now Max is back and they have all this money they've spent.
They actually have the cap room to cover Max, dude.
They do?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
good they have a lot of cap space.
Good for them. Either way,
and then if they trade him, that's kind of why they're not in a rush. Because they do have so much cap space, they can do all these things, and they could still leave them with them if they want.
What do you think, though, of that or the picture I just sent you before we got on tonight about how the Ravens were saying that they really wanted to have both Hendrickson and Crosby?
I'm not buying it. I don't think the Ravens had the fucking room or the cap space at all to pull that off.
That's what I'm saying, dude. It's like as much as I'd love to see any of those guys paired up next to Aiden Hutchinson, the reality of it is it's not. Like, it doesn't feasibly happen. I don't know. It's just tough. I'd still love to see Crosby come to Detroit. It's still in talks. I know that the Raiders are still taking calls, but right now they're saying that he's a Raider, which, of course, they're going to say that. They don't want to look like fucking idiots. I mean, even though they kind of do. I mean, seriously. Dude, like, he went on a PR push. He went on a podcast. He did his intro interview with the team. I mean, holy shit. That's crazy. That's honestly one of the biggest debacles I think I've seen in the last 10 years in the NFL. I can't remember something like this happening.
Well, and their GM in 20 years has never traded a first-round pick, and all of a sudden he trades 2 of them. I think he started thinking about it and going, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah, dude, he came out of the peyote trip.
Yeah, for real. And he probably got some pressure from other people, but at the end of the day, he's probably like, no.
Yeah,
we
no
won
way.
a Super Bowl. Like, we're a winning organization.
Totally nuts. Absolutely nuts. All right, so we're just going to kind of start in on I'm just going to go team by team. We'll talk about their transactions, their pickups, their losses, all that kind of stuff. Excuse me. Man, whew, them baked beans kicking my ass. All right. As you saw in the thumbnail, which was kind of breaking news last week, but whatever. DJ Moore has been acquired by the Buffalo Bills. I think that gives Josh Allen his number 1. I also think we're going to see a breakout season from DJ Moore because I feel like in his career, he did okay numbers last year with Caleb Williams, but the way that Ben Johnson structures that offense, it's not structured for a number 1 receiver to get 1,500 yards and 12 touchdowns. So where here in Buffalo, yes, they're run heavy, but they've not had a number 1 wide receiver, so they've kind of been forced into being run heavy. So DJ Moore is a good acquisition in my book. But they also, Bills are making some moves, dude. They brought in Bradley Chubb for 3 years. What do you think of that?
That's a great pickup.
It really is. Solid. Re-signed Sam Franklin. Looks like they restructured Tyler Bass's contract, but re-signed him. He's always been a solid kicker for Buffalo. And they got a couple other here and there. Like they signed a new 3-year deal with Dawson Knox. Yeah, good job, Buffalo. Miami, they've pretty much made one big move, and that was for quarterback Malik Willis, which we all kind of saw coming because Malik shows a very, very high ceiling, and Miami pretty much hired half of Green Bay's staff. So why not bring the backup quarterback that has a high ceiling down? So what do you think the success rate of Malik is going to be down there in South Beach?
I think it's going to be a rough year or two. I mean, they've pretty much sold the whole team, and they still have such a cap hit from fucking Tua Tard, that I think for a year or two here, they're going to be hurting.
They are, and they didn't. No, the good news is they didn't break the bank to sign Malik. So even if he doesn't pan out, it is what it is. But at this point, it's going to be very difficult for him to do anything worse than what Tua did.
But did Malik forget his days at Tennessee where he was staring up at the sky 3 out of 4 plays?
That might happen because all the Miami's done so far is sign him, tight end, an edge rusher, and their kicker, or a kicker.
Yeah.
Which Zane Gonzalez, I feel like, has been on every NFL team by now.
Been on a lot. He's still no Josh Johnson, but, he's getting there.
He keeps fucking everybody's wives. He keeps fucking everybody.
That's really why he moves cities so much.
All right. You know what would be really, really, really funny? If the New England Patriots week 1, their first week at home, did Romeo Doubs bobblehead night and just made it hellaciously large on purpose. Because of that Guardian cap that he wears. Because they were going at him hard. But I honestly think Romeo Doubs is a good pickup for New England. I don't think that, maybe he is a number 1 receiver because they're paying him pretty good salary. I mean, it's 4 years at $70 million. That's not chump change for a receiver. So they definitely have high hopes for him.
I still think potential trades for A.J. Brown are going to surface soon. And
we'll see.
I hear the Patriots are one of the teams calling.
Yeah, they are. They sure are. Speaking of calling and not writing back, guess who's right back at home? So the New York Jets have made probably the most, if not top 3. No, it looks like the Texans have taken that so far. The Jets have made 12 moves. One of them's the franchise tag of Breece Hall, which we discussed last week. They actually traded with the Las Vegas Raiders for Geno Smith, which, poor Geno's got to go back to an abusive ex. I just, literally, that's the best way I could describe that. Nick, you had some words on it last night. What are your thoughts?
Oh, my God. They ruined his life once. It took him many years to resurrect it. Now he's going there to die, apparently.
Yeah. He's going there to literally die. Yeah, and I find it funny, though. So they also brought in Minka Fitzpatrick. They traded with the Dolphins. And they also brought in... Oh, where is it? I believe it's either this Nashawn Wright or Dane Belton. But either way, two of those three players combined for 6 interceptions just by themselves last year, where the Jets had none. So that's already a step in the right direction. Minka's a G. He's still got a lot of good football left in him, I think. Especially they think so too, because they signed him for 3 years for $40 million.
And they gave him away for like a loaf of bread.
Yeah. So, yep. All right. We discussed the whole debacle with the Ravens, but it looks like they have re-signed their backup quarterback Tyler Huntley, which he's a very good complement backup quarterback to Lamar Jackson. He's just a little less accurate and a little slower, but he plays the same. That's a good backup. But as we said, they signed Trey Hendrickson to a 4-year, $112 million deal, with roughly $60 million of that being fully guaranteed, with a maximum value of $120 million. I would have to imagine that other $8 million is bonuses for sack performances, but that's just my guess. But yeah, other than that, they haven't really made any moves. They picked up a corner. Talked about the Bengals. Bengals signed pretty much nobody. They got this edge boy, Maffey or whatever his name is. We'll see. All right, in Cleveland, they had no choice but to go out and get an all-new offensive line because they released their entire offensive line, which I can't say that I blame them for doing that. But let's see. Let's go through this. Super Bowl. All right, they got offensive tackle Titus Howard in a trade with Houston. They got offensive guard Tavon Jenkins, offensive guard Zion Johnson, and offensive line. I'm not even going to try to butcher that, Jenkins. They got 2 Jenkins. Leroy Jenkins. And they signed linebacker Quincy Williams. So, I don't know. Pretty Cleveland Browns free agency market, if you ask me.
Yeah, do it again with 5 new guys, and you're probably going to get fired at the end of the year.
Right.
Next.
Yep. So Pitt's made some decent moves. 2 of them I like in particular. I didn't like them letting Gainwell go. I think Gainwell's going to go someplace and do well. I mean,
he went to Tampa.
He went to Tampa. But also going to Tampa for him is he's right back in the mix with 2 or 3 other really good running backs. So I don't know. Anyways, Pittsburgh signed Rico Dowdle to a 2-year, $12.25 million contract. I like that move. I think he'll complement Jaylen Warren very well, if not start to get more carries, potentially, than Jaylen Warren, because I'm still not sold on him. And the big one is they traded with the Colts for Michael Pittman. I think that, a DK Met. Well, one, this tells me the Steelers are trying to keep Aaron Rodgers happy, so he'll come back. Because now he's got arguably 2 number 1 receivers on the same team in DK Metcalf and Michael Pittman. So, I mean, if Aaron Rodgers can't make it happen with that, I don't know what else to tell him.
I'm just waiting for his arm to fall off at this point.
At some point, it's got to, right? I mean, it's got to at some point. So,
hopefully the silver fox in his trips tells him to stay retired.
I smoked too much peyote last night, and I am retiring from football. I mean basketball. I mean baseball. I mean football. So, yeah, they got a couple other they also got Cameron Hayward a new deal as well. Keeps him under contract through the 2027 season. A couple of corners they re-signed, but nothing super, super major. So, yeah, anyways, the Steelers are doing Steeler things. But Aaron Rodgers said, well, no one's given me a deadline yet. If that's not the biggest fuck you to the Pittsburgh Steelers organization, dude, I don't know what is. Because, one, if you actually care about anybody but yourself, you'd give them, like, hey, I'll have you my decision by X. And if you were any sort of not a dick, which we know you aren't, you would say, I'll make my decision before the NFL draft, because I know there's not a strong quarterback class, but, they could still go out and get like anybody to compete with Will Howard. I mean, you got to have you got to have something there. You can't just have a whole bunch of rookies running around chucking the pigskin. So, but this is how it's going to work is he's going to make his decision after the draft when they don't draft a quarterback. And if he says no, it's going to make Pittsburgh look like idiots. And if he says yes, it's going to make what they were trying to do with, with everything hopefully work. But, just watch Pittsburgh go 9-8 again, make the playoffs, and lose in the wild card. That's just what they're setting themselves up for again, in my opinion. But I don't know. Okay. All right. Wow. Let's see. The Texans have been busy. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 moves.
Yeah, dude, they're looking to win this year.
They are. They got David Montgomery in a trade we spoke about last week, and it just broke. They signed they signed Dalton Schultz back. They signed 2 offensive tackles, an offensive guard, and edge rusher. Daniel Hunter to a 1-year, $40 million extension. He must be a beast.
He is.
Yeah, he is. Logan Hall, linebacker EJ Speed, safety Reed Blankenship, and they re-signed Fairbairn and their punter. Or no, I'm sorry, they traded for a punter. How many times do you hear somebody trading for a punter?
Probably happens more than we think.
Yeah, it says there, punter Kai Kroger was acquired in a trade with New Orleans along with a 2028 7th-round pick in exchange for a 2028 6th-round pick.
Yeah, it probably happens like that a lot.
Yeah, just a bunch of bullshit low-round trades.
You give me your left shoe, I'll give you my right shoe.
Yeah. Sauce Gardner's jokes about locking Alec Pierce in his basement apparently worked because they unloaded Michael Pittman and signed Alec Pierce to a 4-year, $114 million contract, with 60 of that being fully guaranteed. And even though he's still in the middle of a pretty serious injury, they signed Daniel Jones to a 2-year, $88 million deal. That can be worth up to $1 million or $100 million. What are your thoughts on that? The transition tag, I kind of thought that was said and done.
I kind of thought it was too, but at the same time, look at the market. You might as well lock him up. Like, he's going to be back midway through the year. Mm-hmm. If you want any chance at all, I think it's a good move.
Now, and I don't know, because with that transition tag, wasn't it that if a team offered him something, they had an opportunity to match it?
Yeah.
They're probably never going to come out and say that Minnesota or whatever, you know what I mean, offered him this deal and they had to match it. They'll never come out and say that. Never. No. But that honestly, to me, that's probably what happened. Because they wouldn't have slapped that transition tag on him and then signed him like that. There's no way. They would have just said, fuck that, let's just sign him. So
the funny part is it's damn near the same amount as the franchise tag, so it's not like
they saved any money, really. Yeah. So
no.
They got an edge rusher, they got a defensive tackle. They traded for Colby Wooden in exchange for linebacker Zaire Franklin to the Packers. All right. Jacksonville lost Travis Etienne. He went to the Saints. We'll get into that in a minute. But they signed running back DJ Dallas, and they signed running back Chris Rodriguez Jr. And a couple people on defense. But Jags not really making a big splash, man, which, you'd think that a team that was as decent as they were last year and losing their RB1 would be signing better players than DJ Dallas. It's just my take, but
even fucking ETN was sick of playing with Trevor Lawrence. They've played together since 2018. They went to college together.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I need to see something else in my life.
Or he just got sick of fucking Trevor's bitch.
Dude, we're done here, man. We're breaking up.
Theme of episode 66. Fucking your bitch. Which, by the way, if you made it this far into the episode and you're not subscribed, what the fuck are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. We appreciate it. All right. Tennessee Titans. Bringing in some competition for Cam Ward. Not. But maybe. I don't know. Because when he played last year, he played decent. But they signed Mitch Trubisky to a 2-year deal, which I'm sure they didn't even put the dollar amount, so I'm sure it's league minimum. But they also signed wide receiver Rondale Robinson. A couple of edge guys, a couple of corners. You know, their defense wasn't really their problem last year. But who am I?
Was pretty good this year, but I didn't think he was that contract good.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yep.
And if Calvin Ridley can stay healthy, that'll open him up a lot.
That will definitely help. That'll definitely help.
I'd like to see him have a bounce back year for once.
Yeah, wouldn't it be nice?
It would.
Yeah, who comeback player of the year? Who do you got for next year?
Oof.
I know it's a tough one.
Yeah, I know there's a lot. You know who it's gonna be. You already should know this. It's Patrick Mahomes. They're gonna give it to him.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, but you know what?
It's not even a vote anymore.
No, but do you want to know something, though? I'm not arguing with you at all. You're probably 100% correct. But a comeback player of the year, because he's going to start week 1, right?
I don't think so. I mean, that's a stretch.
Okay. So if he doesn't, maybe that changes it. But to me, a comeback player of the year is somebody like Aiden Hutchinson that was out for a majority of the season prior and then comes back the next year healthy and plays and dominates again. Like when Joe Burrow went out for almost 80% of the year a couple of years ago and came back and had a fantastic year the next year and he won comeback player of the year, that is what comeback player of the year is. For Patrick Mahomes to go down in what, it was week 15 or 16?
Yeah, something like that.
Or even like 17 or 18. He went down very late in the season. Like, they were already out of the playoffs when he got hurt.
I don't think the voters are going to look at it like that, though.
No, because you want to know who all the voters are? Chris Collinsworth and his fucking midget disciples that are going to vote for him. And you're totally right.
You were going to say the zebras.
Yeah. It's just a room full of Chris
Collinsworth
and refs. And they're just all going to fucking vote for him. And I don't know, dude. It's just ridiculous. It's asinine. But what do you do? So, all right, moving right along here. Broncos ain't done much. They re-signed J.K. Dobbins. I think J.K. and Harvey are a pretty good 1-2 punch, so keeping that rocking. You know, and honestly, you don't want to make too many moves if you're Denver, in my opinion, due to the fact that really, I think if they had Bo Nix, they'd have won that game and been in the Super Bowl. And actually made it a better game than it was.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was going to beat Seattle, though.
Nope. I don't think they would have beat Seattle, but it wouldn't have been a 3-score game either. So, but we'll see. We'll have to see. But that's why, like I said, if I'm Denver, I'm not making too many big moves. But speaking of big moves, oh man, I saw that Travis Kelce was coming back. I didn't see that he signed a deal, 1 year, $12 million. But I think probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest acquisition, is Kenneth Walker going to Kansas City, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Patrick
needed more dynamic people.
Patrick Mahomes has not had a good run game since his first couple seasons. And when his first couple seasons when he had a run game, guess what? They won Super Bowls. So we'll see.
You know what else I see happening? Tyreek Hill's injury and Mahomes are pretty similar. Mm-hmm. They're going to come back. He's going to sign with the Chiefs.
Yep.
And they're both going to come back at damn near the same time.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And it's going to be just like it was in the old days. I mean, I just seen a clip earlier today of Tyreek when the Dolphins and Chiefs played, either last year or the year before or whatever. Him coming over and going up to Coach Reed and saying, hey, man, I love you. Thank you for everything you did for me in my career. Shaking up with Patrick Mahomes, telling him, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's still so much heart and soul for him in Kansas City.
That's going back.
And honestly, who's going to want to... Who's going to want to take a guy that fucking tears his ACL or breaks his leg or whatever injury happened to him and is just smiling and going as he's leaving because he's like, I am out of this shithole. You know, like, who wants to sign that guy? At least Kansas City knows what they're getting into bed with, you know? Yeah. So, anyways, not many other moves really by KC, but yeah. All right. So, Vegas went out, got Jalen Naylor. They got a couple of edge guys, a couple of linebackers, a couple of corners. Definitely making moves on the defensive side of the ball. Yeah,
they're totally and they got Linderbaum, one of the best Pro Bowl centers.
Yep. Which I wish we'd have got him instead of this Pillsbury Doughboy looking motherfucker that we got, but
they also offered him the most ever for an interior lineman.
Yeah.
They just reset the market again.
Yep. Happens every year. They raised the salary cap by another like 17 or 18. No, it was more than that.
It was more than that. Can't remember what the number
It
was.
was like 50-something million or something. Another big chunk of money. All right, the Chargers re-signed Khalil Mack. They did some re-signings, but there's not any real big splashes in names or anything. Yeah. Khalil Mack's about it. They signed another center, but, 3 years, $30 million, and the center for... Whoa. Getting that weather.
Yeah.
Whole garage just shook. But yeah, so the center that Lindenbaum signed a 3-year, $81 million deal, and the center that the Chargers signed a 3-year, $30 million deal.
Yeah.
Ouch. All right, I think that covers the AFC. Now we are getting into the NFC. Excuse me. Dallas Cowboys, who still aren't off the table for getting Maxx Crosby. They re-signed Javonte Williams for 3 years, for $24 million. I think he's their number one going forward. As we said last week, George Pickens got the franchise tag, which we'll see if he even plays. A couple safeties. Rashawn Gary, they acquired in a trade with Green Bay in exchange for a 2027 fourth-round pick. And... okay. Oh, do you see what's going on with Brandon Aubrey?
Yeah, he requested more money.
It says received a second round, $5.76 million restricted free agent tender, meaning the teams can sign him to an offer sheet, but Dallas will have the right to match it. So it's kind of like that transition tag, but
so Dallas is saying, you wanted $10 million? Fuck you. Go see if you can get $10 million, bitch, and then we'll think about paying you.
Yeah, that's kind of exactly what they said.
Dude, for real. Go ahead.
Jerry Jones said, "Fuck you, Brandon."
Yeah, dude. He goes, "Go ahead, buddy. Test the market."
Yeah, you think I won't go get another? Yeah, think I won't go get another kicker someplace else. The New York Giants seem to be signing a whole lot of players from the Ravens, like Isaiah Likely.
Shocker. That's where Harbaugh is.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said the New York Ravens. Yeah, but bro. It wasn't working in Baltimore. What makes you think it's just going to work 2 hours north?
It's not always the coach's fault. You got to have players and you got to have money to spend on people.
It's true, but we'll see. I mean, Isaiah Likely definitely had a very, very big ceiling. I think, honestly, if Jim Harbaugh would have been there, they'd have probably shipped him off regardless to someplace because you can't really have two number one tight ends in Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. It just doesn't work.
And Eagles had such a great year last year, and they were kind of ready to write him off before that.
Yeah. The Eagles have only made 4 moves, 2 tight ends, a defensive tackle, and a cornerback. The defensive tackle is Jordan Davis. He's playing on the 5th year. It says signing a 3-year, $78 million contract extension that includes $65 million guaranteed. Davis was set to play the 2026 season on the 5th-year option rookie contract. So, glad they signed him. All right. Washington.
The Eagles do this every year, though.
They don't do dick in this time of year.
Dude, they literally sell their entire team when they make it to the Super Bowl and then find a way to rebuild. They do it every year.
Yeah, send us your notes, dude. I want to know how that works.
Apparently it works for them pretty fucking well.
I want to know! Fuck you, Nick Sirianni! Fuck you.
No shit. Even your own fans hate you.
Washington re-signed Marcus Mariota to be their backup. Marcus Mariota is one of the strongest backups in the league. You can fight me on that one, but he is. It looks like they got a couple edge. Oh, yeah, they signed Owe, that 4-year, $100 million deal. That's going to be huge for them. Safety, corner, defensive tackle. Yeah. God, they got 3 edge rushers. Good for them. How many edges are there?
Apparently
quite a bit.
They make their own.
Okay, here we are.
What's interesting, though, is where their draft position is. They're looking at Jeremiah Love.
Washington?
Yeah.
Wouldn't be a bad move for him.
Dude, he's a monster.
He is.
Bye-bye Krosky Merritt, though. You just became a third down back.
Yeah. That's okay, though. Bye-bye, Bill. Oh, boy. Our gnome's on the run. No,
you're an abusive father.
Only to this guy. I knew we lost Khalif Raymond, but I didn't know he went and signed with Ben Johnson's bitch ass.
Nothing surprises me anymore.
Yeah, good luck. Fucking homos. They signed Case Keenum to a 2-year, $4.4 million deal. That's so bad. They got a new offensive tackle, a new center. They actually traded for their center, Garrett Bradbury. And they signed Kobe Bryant, not the basketball player. Clearly, he's deceased. Rest in peace, Kobe. But yeah, fuck the Bears. All right, moving on. This isn't going to take long. Lions signed Teddy Bridgewater. I'm pretty convinced that the Lions signed him back because Florida had to pass that law that high school coaches couldn't spend more than $20,000 on their teams because Teddy Bridgewater came in and spent like $2 million and got his team to the national championship. But we signed Isaiah Pacheco, which, holy shit, did we get him for a bag of peanuts? Did you see what we signed him for?
I didn't see the final number, but I knew it was low.
1 year, $1.8 million.
Perfect.
Yeah, dude, if he can stay healthy, that is perfect.
For sure.
He's definitely, a head-down runner. He's got some mass to him. I think knock some bodies around. I think he'll be a really good compliment, maybe even a better compliment over time than Montgomery was to Gibbs. We'll see. Starting to see the shape of what Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes are trying to cook up just a little bit. Just a little bit. So we re-signed Rocky Sin. We got Juice Scruggs in the trade with Houston with David Montgomery. We signed center Cade Mays from Carolina, who looks like the Pillsbury Doughboy, and offensive tackle Larry Borum. Yeah, those are Detroit's moves. So kind of disappointing. I really hope we have a really good draft strategy going in, but I know, all the signings and stuff really have just kind of started kicking off, so we'll see. We'll see if they make any other moves, but it'd make my whole life if they just would go after Maxx Crosby. And even if it fails, they can say they tried. Packers have signed less players than the Lions have, which makes me feel pretty good inside. They only have made 4 moves for an offensive lineman, a defensive lineman. Well, they got Zaire Franklin in the trade with Indianapolis, who's Zaire Franklin. He's always been a good, solid linebacker, but linebackers anymore just seem like they're a dime a dozen, dude. Somebody last night mentioned that we re-signed Jack Campbell or something, but I'm not seeing anything about that in here.
No, they might have done that last season or
maybe. The Vikings also have only made 5 moves, so the NFC North has stayed pretty dormant this offseason so far.
Yeah, until Kyler Murray signs her.
We'll see. Right now, they had Aaron Jones signed a revised contract that lowers his base salary from $9 million to $5.5, keeping Jones in Minnesota next season. They signed linebacker Eric Wilson, re-signed linebacker Eric Wilson, picked up James Pierre, safety Trayvon Thomas, and long snapper Andrew DePaula. All right, NFC South. Holy shit, we're going to start this off with a bang. We said that they tagged Kyle Pitts, which, smart. But then they signed Austin Hooper to a 1-year, $3.25 million deal, who I know is not on the level that Kyle Pitts can play at. But the last couple of years, if you look at their numbers, dude.
Yeah, and Hooper actually blocks where Kyle Pitts doesn't block.
Pitts does not. He gets shoved on his ass. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But they also signed Jahan Dotson, which I think is a good move for them because they need a little bit of wide receiver help. They also got a guy who I'm not even going to approach that name for the sake of this channel.
And the savior, Tua.
Yeah, dude. And the big question mark is, what the fuck is up with Atlanta's fetish with left-handed quarterbacks? Well, you know what? Everyone is making fun of the fact that, Vic is like dick and Penix is like penis. And you can say Tagovailoa like tongue in my bug hole. So And they just must have something about quarterbacks that are lefties with genitalia. I don't know. Well, it is what it is. What do you like? Honestly, besides bringing in somebody that has that, I will say that Tua and Michael Penix have a very similar style of play. A very similar style of play to where if Tua backs him up or Penix backs Tua up, they've got they've got a backup quarterback that can play exactly the same style and exactly the same system. But besides experience, because talent ain't it, why are they doing this?
Dude, we've seen a lot of quarterbacks in the last few years go to a different place and have a really great resurgence. And honestly, for as little as they had to pay Tua, just a veteran, because of his salary contract buyout, you might as well and try him for a year. Maybe you find a diamond in the rough for $1.3 million. What are you losing?
Yeah, for 1.3, it's worth the risk.
Same thing, Kyler Murray. Like, I'm surprised more teams didn't sign him. It's going to be the league minimum or the veterans deal.
Have they actually, I saw that Arizona officially released Kyler Murray. Have the Dolphins officially released Tua?
Yeah, Kirk Cousins, I think, is the only one
that hasn't been.
No, Tua is going to be a post. He's going to be a post June 1st.
No, it says right here, the deal cannot become official until the Dolphins release him on March 11th.
Oh, they said they were going to make it a post June cut.
That was Kirk.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm. Kirk is definitely not getting cut till June 1st.
Oh, well, got him back.
So we'll see. But the reason I'm bringing that up is this says he's supposed to be cut today. And if he's not, the Dolphins are just fucking with Atlanta. Oh, shit. All right. Yeah. Carolina Panthers signed Kenny Pickett. I don't know what the hell. Back up, I guess. Signed a couple of wide receivers. Got a new center. They got their edge, Jalen Phillips. They signed a 4-year, $120 million deal. That's a hell of a deal, but he's a beast. A couple other corners, long snapper. Not much crazy splashes for Carolina other than Jalen Phillips. Which, yeah, okay. The Saints, like we said, big splash with Travis Etienne, signed a 4-year, $52 million deal, which is getting paid for running backs. Good for Travis. They signed tight end Noah Fant. Yeah, and isn't Cameron Jordan a free agent?
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll find a home. It ain't going to be with the Saints again, though.
You never know.
He could be.
He's been a lifer there.
Ooh, I think this is the least amount of moves out of any team we've gone over so far. The Tampa Bay Bucks have made 3 moves.
One was Anzalone.
Yep, Anzalone signed a 2-year, $17 million deal. They signed tight end Cade Otton, re-signed him to a 3-year, $30 million deal. And they got running back Kenneth Gainwell to a 2-year, $14 million deal. That's all they've done.
And they lost Mike Evans.
They lost Mike Evans. Holy shit. Tampa, good luck.
Baker, remember the bad days in Cleveland?
Yeah, welcome to even worse days now.
I don't know about worse. In the wintertime, it's 70 degrees. I think he's doing okay.
All right, so the Cardinals got their franchise quarterback with Gardner Minshew. They also signed running back Tyler Algier, wide receiver Kendrick Bourne, a couple of guards, a couple of defensive linemen, punter and a kicker. Again, I don't know what the Cardinals' plans are at quarterback after releasing Kyler. Not that Kyler was a plan at quarterback, but are the Cardinals going to go out and get somebody in the draft this year? Or?
I would hope so, but it sounds like they're going to roll with Jacoby Brissett.
And they might just do that. I mean, he didn't play terribly last year by any means.
No, but you got to start looking in the draft for somebody young.
You do.
Maybe this time make him above 5'9".
Yeah. All right, Rams re-signed on a 2-year for Tyler Higbee. God, they got him for nothing. 2 years for $8 million. But anyways, Trent McDuffie was the big splash there for LA trading Kansas City. They got Trent. So the Rams got Trent McDuffie and a 5th and a 6th round pick. And I think they sent, Oh, no, I'm sorry. They got Trent McDuffie and sent a 1st, a 5th, and a 6th round pick and a third-round pick next year. So 4 draft picks for Trent McDuffie, and then they gave him a 4-year, $124 million extension, making him, I believe, the highest-paid defensive back in the NFL. They also got cornerback Jalen Watson. Yeah, they're making moves on defense. Yeah, their offense is not the issue. Their offense was killing it, but their defense definitely lacked a lot last year. So
their offense was pretty bad, too, last year.
I mean, Matt Stafford still put up MVP numbers, so I beg to
differ. I thought you were talking about the Chiefs.
Oh, no, the Chiefs' offense sucked last year. No, the Rams' offense was great. All right, and San Francisco hasn't made many splashes. They re-signed their kicker Eddie Pinheiro to a 4-year, $17 million deal. And the big splash they made is they signed Mike Evans to a 3-year deal. Doesn't say the money, but I want to say it was pretty hefty. Like
35 million.
I thought it was more than that.
Yeah.
Anyways, good for Mike Evans. I kind of thought he might be playing one more year and just come back and sign a 3-year deal with a different team. And really, it's not that big of a change because he's still wearing red. So, and he's still in the NFC. So it ain't that big a deal. But Seattle has let their entire team walk, and they re-signed Rashid Shaheed, which that was a no-brainer. And offensive tackle Josh Jones and cornerback Joshua Jobe. The only moves they've made. And that takes us through your free agency frenzy. Thank you for sticking with us. So, we'll again, I'm trying to check NFL Network to see if there's anything that's happened since we started this episode 40 minutes ago, but I don't believe there has been.
I think it'll be pretty calm here the rest of the day.
Probably will be. I think everybody got done what they wanted to get done. So, yeah. All right. Well, with that being said, we'll wrap up football for this week. We'll touch a little bit on golf, a little bit on the World Baseball Classic, and a little bit on the NCAA tournament, and then we're going to wrap this week up. So, World Baseball Classics, real quick. The United States played last night, lost to Italy, and now Italy and Mexico play tonight. And if Italy wins, USA advances. And if Mexico can win, but they can only win by 4 runs. Yeah, I believe is what it is. If they win by 5 runs, then Mexico will advance.
Yeah, and Italy.
And Italy, not United States. Shitty spot to be in right now. I mean, the coach did come out and give a pep talk to the players that they were already in when he was frickin' wrong, which is an oversight by literally everybody. I mean, seriously, if my coach was up there talking about that, I'd have been like, excuse, sir, you're wrong. You're wrong. Like, yeah. Just crazy. But anyways, that game's tonight, I believe, right?
Right now.
Oh, it's on right now? Oh, sick with it. Okay, well, let's go Italy. Fly just almost flew in my mouth. All right. So Arnold Palmer Invitational was over the weekend. Golf and PGA. Ashke Batia won it, and he's causing a whole stir of shit about getting broomstick putters banned. And you know what? I hate it that players only get put under a microscope like this when they're winning. Ashke's been putting like this for how many years now? But now that he's winning, it's a problem. I mean, I can see the argument on both sides why they should be and why they should be banned and all that, but what are your thoughts on Ashke's spot with his putter?
Why, though? These guys get their clubs inspected every fucking week. So because he's winning with something different, if you can use it, and then go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
And if you want to do what he's doing, go ahead and give it a shot.
Yeah, because everyone's like, oh, we can't tell if he's anchoring. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can tell. It's very blatantly obvious. And he's not. He has just enough space that he's not. But he's so good, he's not anchoring at the chest, if you notice. He's anchoring here, right here. And that's legal. It's the anchoring of the butt end of the club, not of your arm. So, I don't know. I'm all for it, dude. However, really, at the end of the day, like, whatever, I'll never forget, shout out Doug Temple. I love you, miss you, we'll see you soon. But when first time I golfed with my golf coach, and I had just gotten my Swing U app, and I was always taught that cell phones on the golf course were terrible etiquette. So I just put it away, and By the time I got to meet these guys, we were making the turn at the scramble, and I'm like, man, I got this new app with GPS on it. And Doug goes, what the fuck have you been doing? He's like, get that shit out right now. He goes, we'll take any advantage we can get. And really, without cheating, I try to take every advantage I can get in golf too. So if I could putt with a broomstick putter, which have you ever tried one like at Dick's or anything?
Dude, if I could putt with a broomstick and it would help, I would do it.
Yeah, but I putt with one. They're difficult. They're not as easy as you think, really. It's a totally different technique. So, but it's really going to suck for him when they do ban it, because I have a feeling they're going to, because the PGA is a bunch of prudes. But did you also see that the PGA laid out their plans for the next few years after 2027?
No, I didn't see that.
They're gonna have more feature events. They're adding more money to purses. They're pretty much trying to take the live approach without saying it. They're trying to make more exclusivity for some events. They're trying to make it so that there's so many events that the players can't play them all physically. I don't know. Not a big fan. We'll keep you up to date on that. But I will say, in the short amount of time we speak on live, that Jon Rahm did end his losing streak, I guess, and won over the weekend. So hats off to Jon Rahm. That's cool. But come back to the PGA, please, for the love of God. Come back to the PGA. Yeah, and coming up, we got the players. I heard through the rumor mill that Rory's not showed up yet. Shocker. But players championship, Nick. We got TPC Sawgrass, right?
Yeah.
Who you got?
I'm sticking with Goddard up this week.
Are ya?
I am.
I'm taking Scotty for a couple reasons. My main thing is that he has been a little off the last few weeks, and when Scotty has I know that the players is not a major, which I think we should have an episode where we debate on whether it should be a major or not. However, he just steps up in big events like this, and he won last year, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so give me Scotty. Give me Scotty again. Even though I'd love to see like Ricky or Xander or Jason Day or Ben Griffin or one of them guys to step up and win it. It'd be super great. Because we've had a pretty spread out, field so far this year, and it's just been very exciting to watch. So, okay. Pistons snapped their 4-game losing streak last night against the Nets. But honestly, the biggest NBA news, I'm never going to remember the guy's name. Bam something, right? Yeah.
Bam Adebayo.
Bam Adebayo scored 83 points in an NBA basketball game. My hat is off to you, sir. That is incredible. It is now Wilt Chamberlain, Bam Adebayo, and Kobe Bryant with his 81. I think the most impressive, he didn't have a great game, shooting wise. I think he only shot 43% from the field.
Not even. He shot under 30% from three. Free throws were good. He was 30.
He shot 46 free throws.
Yeah, 43 of them.
It's unbelievable. But you can't, at the end of the day, I'm watching Stephen A. Smith and the other frickin' guy they got on there that yells at him and disagrees with everything that he says, talking about how it was the least impressive performance of over 70 points in NBA history. Fuck you, buddy. You don't know shit about scoring 80 fucking points in the NBA. So, and it's just freaking ridiculous. I mean, he scored more than half of the points that the Heat scored, and they scored 150 points last night. And
yeah, that's just...
all things aside, I don't want to hear anybody say, well, it was against the Wizards. You score 83 points in a game at a professional level that's like scoring a double hat trick or more. That's like scoring 3 hat tricks in a hockey game. Okay?
But that is kind of like paying a G League team right now, though.
But it's still an NBA team. Okay? So if Sam Darnold puts up 8 touchdowns against the Jets, is it just it was the Jets? No.
There would be some marks in there to mark that it was the Jets.
Against the Jets. Actually, it wasn't the Jets. It was just a bunch of cardboard cutouts of Dr. Evil. But oh shit! But yeah. So, but the Pistons are still in first by 3 or 4 games. Red Wings are still kind of hanging, but they blew another lead. I think was it last night to the Panthers. Yeah, blew another lead. 2-goal lead. not looking so hot for the Red Wings. But Pistons went on that little skid, hoping their game last night gets them a little bit back on track. But, Nick, you said it before. I think teams figured it out. If you can stop Cade, you can stop the Pistons. What are your thoughts on that front?
No, that pretty much nails that on the head. And Jason Tatum just came back for Boston.
Yeah, and he looks incredible.
That's bad news.
What are your thoughts on Jaylen Brown and his game last night?
Dude, he's been bitching about the refs all year, and he finally just snapped. It was pretty funny.
Can't say I blame him, though.
He finally had enough.
And you know what? I mean, what do you think? I mean, his teammates were literally trying to manhandle him. He wasn't having none of it. He was ready to literally cut that guy's head off. But I can't say I blame him because it was foul. It was. It was foul. They even called more like that in the game later on. But to watch a potential finals matchup in Celtics Spurs was a fun game to watch. Wemby is a freak in all of the best ways possible. I don't mean he's watching someone of his size and stature move as quickly as he does is just breaks physics. You know, I do love before Jaylen Brown got ejected from that game, though, that he was kind of putting up the numbers against him. And when he made that first basket, he kind of did the whole too small little thing. I thought that was kind of funny. You got to have that shit, dude. You know, you're 7 fucking whatever the hell he is, and your whole life you've been told you're tall. It's someone's got to bring you down a peg at some point. But, okay. Thanks for tuning in to our Free Agency Frenzy special episode. Yeah, like you said, Nick, it'll probably be a little quiet, but next week I'm sure we'll have a whole nother slew of headlines to go over. I'm sure by then Maxx Crosby will have landed someplace, hopefully. Hopefully the Lions make a splash and sign somebody else, but time will tell. So with that being said, Nick, you got anything else this week?
I do. Let's go blue.
Yeah, I forgot. Oh, yeah, we've got NCAA basketball. We've got, Michigan State fell to Michigan by about 10 points of the day, so I've owed Nick a lot of money this year, but that's not when Izzo shines. Izzo shines in the tournament. So we're projected Michigan to be a 1 seed, State to be a 2 seed. Probably going to end up in the same goddamn bracket like we always do. I don't know why they do that.
Every fucking time, dude. It's
every fucking time. But with that being said, all of the conference championships are going on right now through the end of this weekend. In 4 days, I believe we will have brackets. I think it's Sunday night that they come out with them.
Oh, yeah, I watch the reveal every year.
Yep, so Sunday night we'll be tuning in for that. Next week we'll have our picks for brackets. It'll probably be, I'm going to guess, because there's probably not going to be a lot of NFL news between now and then, that our majority of our episode next week will definitely be about March Madness. So stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and tell us how wrong that we are in the comments. And with that being said, we're Hulaham out.